Welcome back to Insight. I'm here with Jill and Kate there from FairHaven Funeral Home. Well, I have been out to FairHaven, visited with the guys out there, super great guys in a beautiful facility. You guys specifically do pre-planning. You are pre-planning advisors. So let's talk about why we should pre-plan. Tell me, what are the benefits of pre-planning?
That's a really great question, and I could give you 100 reasons why somebody should pre-plan. But at the end of the day, the reason why we decide to pre-plan is it is one of the most loving and beneficial things that we can do for our families. This is like the final gift we give to our loved ones. So when the time comes, your loved one can focus on what's truly important, and that is being there for one another and starting on their grief process, instead of having to focus on making 100 decisions and then trying to figure out how to pay for this.
Right.
You know, that day's already hard enough. And so, you know, as parents, as spouses, we want to do that for our families. And so it's just the final gift that we can give them.
And then too, they don't have to worry about if they're doing what you want.
Exactly.
I mean, and just the little things, as what kind of casket or whether or not you want to go. I'm just little things. I don't have to wonder, did my dad want this or did he not? It's all done. It's all taken care of.
Exactly. And, you know, often we hear from families that, oh, my kids and I have talked about that. You know, my kids know. And while that is great having that conversation, it is truly wonderful that you do. It is invaluable to get that information down on file with the funeral home. Because when that day comes, I can assure you that your kids or your spouse, they're not going to remember what you talked about. And so having that down is truly, truly important and invaluable.
It's so true. They're not going to remember, and one child may remember something different from another child. They don't need to be dealing with that. So let's talk about, there's the benefits of pre-planning. What are the benefits of prepaying for your service and everything that goes with it?
Yeah, absolutely. And just as Kate mentioned, there is a laundry list of benefits for prepaying your funeral. So when you have the option of prepaying, you actually establish an irrevocable funeral trust, is what it's called. And first and foremost, it locks in the price as it is today. And if trends continue in the funeral industry, prices tend to double every 10 to 12 years. Secondly, it's transferable worldwide, and I think that's an important one. So it doesn't matter if you end up using a different funeral home in town or if you move out of state, this just stays with you wherever you go. Third, there's convenient payment options on a pre-planning basis. And I think there's a common misconception when families come in to make final arrangements for their loved ones that there's going to be some time to get access to bank accounts, collect life insurance, investments, and that simply is just not the case. That bill has to be paid in full on the day the families come in and make arrangements. So that's a big one. Also, it's completely protected. It's protected against bankruptcy, divorce, and most importantly, the government. So let's say, you know, down the road you need to qualify for Medicaid, or 1 in 7 of us end up in a nursing home. You don't have to surrender your funeral trust. It's completely protected, and that's just not the case with life insurance and other investments and assets along those lines. And I think most importantly too, the benefits of prepaying is that it provides peace of mind for not only yourselves but your loved ones, that they're not going to have that financial burden on one of the worst days of their lives.
It makes so much sense why you would do it. And all of those things are so important. And of course the prices go up. Everything. The prices go up on everything. So it makes sense to do it now instead of waiting. So what is the process? How do we go about doing that?
Actually, it's a very simple process, and to be very honest, the hardest part is picking up that phone and setting that time aside to meet with Jill or myself to get that taken care of. But when we do get together, it only takes about an hour or so, and we start off by getting important information that's going to be needed for death certificate purposes and obituary, and it segues into what their final wishes are. And sometimes families come and they're on the fence about what they want to do, and so we will talk through families with that, help them decide which direction they want to go. So from there, we talk about service and merchandise, so we can kind of put together what that final bill would look like. If this were to happen today, this is what the family would see. So, and then from there, we would talk about that irrevocable trust that Jill just mentioned, of taking care of it in advance for the family. So it really is pretty simple. We can accomplish it in 3 simple steps, and And doing it that way, it's a lot less emotional than
Yes.
on a day that you have to be in that seat.
Absolutely. Give your family. Check out FairHaven today. Give them a call. Get that funeral free